might want to turn your speakers down, turn your headphones down. It's gonna be loud. Turtle here. It is Memorial Day, May 30th, 2022. I believe. It could be the 29th. I don't know. Who's counting? But bear with me, because for me to pull this off, I have to have my windows down in my car, because it's a little hot outside still, even though it's night. Anyways, angry snapping turtle here, trying not to hit the frogs in the road. Angry snapping turtle is here to tell you holidays are overrated. Board local cops and corner stores, general stores, corner stores. First things first, I want to get off my chest. That's right. Again, holidays are overrated. Why is he saying that? Well, today's Memorial Day, and for what it's worth, if there's anybody that is in the military armed forces, of course, thank you. Thank you for your work, your duty. Yep. Well, the reason why I say holidays are overrated is yesterday when my girlfriend and I were on our bicycles, of course we were smelling all kinds of smells of people grilling food and such. It was almost like yesterday was like Memorial Day in a way. It just seems like a lot more people, cookouts and such. So, anyways, why is it overrated? Well, I got to thinking, like, somewhere near the end of our bike ride, and I was saying it too, and I was just like, I didn't really say it like this. I'm just saying it right now. So, we did end up getting some burgers after, but here, let me back up for a second. I declared we were going to get burgers, not because we're trying to celebrate Memorial Day, and the reason why I say that is, what are people even doing? St. Patrick's Day, same thing. Like 4th of July, pretty much the same thing, but even worse because there's like fireworks involved. It's like I gotta talk about something else too. Holidays are overrated and unconditional love. Like, I unconditionally love my country. Just like I unconditionally love family. I unconditionally love my girlfriend. I mean, of course, relationships have conditions, right? But love is unconditional. So, in my mind, with that being said, I mean, you know what? I went on another bike ride. We went on another bike ride today too. And there's something else today that I saw that made me like just think of this even more, because today is actually Memorial Day, was that, people like put up all their like American flags, like just on certain holidays, it seems like. And then, like, I don't know why, but for some weird reason, to me it's a weird reason, everywhere has got their flags half-mast. And I just don't think that that's a sign of strength at all as a country, for whatever the reason is. I just, whenever there's, whenever there is a tragedy, whenever there is a celebration of our country, what I'm seeing it right now, everywhere has a flag. Not everywhere, actually. That one's up all the way. Half-mast. Like, why? What's the whole point of having a flag up then if you're just gonna have it half-mast, half-ass? I don't know. That's not what my point was, though. I remember seeing somebody's fence, and I saw a bunch of zip ties on one, a bunch of zip ties on another, a bunch of zip ties on another, like a big group of them, like little zip ties. One of those made in China, right? And I was thinking, okay, and then you go a little further, and then like, oh, okay, I see why there's zip ties, because they would have the zip ties and they would have flags coming out of them, because the other ones had flags coming out of them. I'm like, all right, also made in China. So it's like, what are you really representing? When you have a bunch of Chinese-made American flags, I would assume, I wouldn't be surprised if most of the materials are from or sourced, or even the whole thing assembled and shipped right from China. With the zip ties, too. And it's like, whether or not that is even all from China, if I'm just making that up, I'm just saying, like, yeah, what a great way to honor your country, right? Like, again, I love my country unconditionally. I don't find it necessary to rock a flag all the time. If I did, I would do it unconditionally. It doesn't matter if it was Memorial Day or if it was if it was Christmas, I would have the flag just still up either way, because why else, you know what I mean? To me, to not is disrespectful, but that's me, everybody has their own values, and I understand that. I had to interject with that kind of irony there. But no, going into holidays being overrated, I said, you know what? You know what else, dude? It was just like, another reason why I was saying that it was overrated, it was because, like, people were just getting, like, hammered and just eating, like, slobs, like, around a grill for, like, just because, like, their name, like, just because. And just like a lot of the other holidays that, you know what I mean? Oh, you don't want to spoil the holidays for everybody, but it's like, how deep do some of these people go with what is behind the tradition or the meaning of a holiday? And I mean, if you did, it's so far removed from how we celebrate it now on a whole nother level. You could talk about the consumerism. You could talk about even Mother's Day. But Mother's Day, I think the lady that coined it had something to say about Mother's Day, about how she didn't want it to be another Hallmark holiday at the beginning. But what do you think most people do? They buy a Hallmark card for their mom and some flowers or whatever. But I'm not saying you shouldn't do that for your mom. You should do that for your mom or your significant other. Is for both and both, as much or anytime you feel like it's necessary, for sure. But I don't know. There's just like St. Patrick's Day is a good one too, because it's like I don't drink anymore, but all it was like a drinking holiday, like. So that was part of my reasoning of saying that. Sorry if it keeps getting a little staticky or whatever. It is just way too. It's just really hot in my car. I have my defroster on too. I don't have AC, so I was kind of hesitating, of course, on doing this recording, but that was part of the reason why, actually. But I was like, I just gotta do it. You know, maybe it can be adjusted later. So if you can hear me, you're still there. Thank you. But yeah, you're listening to me whine and complain about a holiday or holidays, right? But think about going back to the burgers, right? We were, I said, we're going to go get burgers. You want to know why? I said, we're celebrating a few things here. Well, first, we earned it. We rode our asses off on the bikes. You know, plus we were hungry and we just wanted burgers. Just cause, right? And we were celebrating actually our anniversary. Yeah, we've been together for more than 10 years. But that's another story. We don't need to elaborate on that right now. I know she doesn't probably want me to talk about her too much on these type of things anyways, unless it's relevant to something that maybe like a business thing or something. Anyways, also, she's starting a new job. So it was just like, all right, we're celebrating a new job. So like, my point is like, I could almost respect people that like just get messed up and just do drugs or just drink alcohol. And I know, let me finish. Only because they're just like, they don't want to even be on the road or nothing. They just want to sit in their chair and get hammered. And that's fine. Just, you know what I mean? You can just stay out of my way, right? That's great. And the problem is there's people that think that they could just live normal-ish lives and then also mix drugs and alcohol and then be driving on the road, be out in public, and it's just like, see, that's why I went back to that. It's like, I almost respect people that only care about getting messed up or drunk because, I mean, I don't really respect it, but in a way I do, only because it's like, all right, I know that a lot of the activities and things that I want to do, that they're just not going to be able to show up. But the problem is the people that do show up that are like half in the bag, that like have one foot in the game basically and one foot smashed. It's just like, oh God, why? You know? So with that being said, I was just saying, we celebrated with purpose, and so should anybody else. Celebrate with purpose. It doesn't matter if you're celebrating a birthday, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is, Thanksgiving. They all have a purpose behind it. But like, the ones that I'm just kind of like, I guess you could say picking on or whatever, are these holidays that are like basically like quote unquote like patriotic kind of holidays. You know what I mean? I think I like highlighted the three that are just like, why? It's Memorial Day, it's 4th of July, and it's St. Patrick's Day, and it's like, why? I mean, we could go beyond more than the why, but I'm just saying, like, celebrate it with a purpose. See, you don't have to go real deep for certain aspects when it comes to like prior, like this year was kind of tame. Other years we would go to girlfriend's dad's house because he loves what? Cooking and his family. He loves to be on the grill. See, to me that is different, and that is cooking with a purpose, and that is celebrating with a purpose. Now certain holidays with family, are the lines of the origin, meaning of the holiday blurred? Yeah, of course, that's fine. But again, it goes back to the purpose. And if your purpose of celebrating a holiday is to get like messed up or drunk, I think you know what I mean, you might want to rethink that one. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Does that make sense? Like I said, when we went to the burger place, right? Of course there was like everybody there is extra busy because of the holiday weekend. And of course it's always a holiday weekend too. And it's like, believe me, I'm all about enjoying things. And you know what else I am? I'm all about the customer experience. So whatever business I'm in, if I can ride that wave of enthusiasm during holidays, no matter what holiday is, of course I am going to take full advantage of exploring that kind of opportunity for a business. Again, purpose. What I just can't understand is, and I was young once before too, is people that just do things or celebrate things just because their neighbor does. Now, just like the BLM movement, okay? And I have nothing against the actual movement, what it's all about. Of course I support it, just like anybody else that has a soul, right? What I'm not so crazy about is like, I'm gonna put up a sign because my neighbor does, like, disease that people seem to have. Again, a whole nother podcast, Turtlecast or whatever. Not something I really want to get into, especially with race stuff. But I'm just saying, like, if you go and actually like look into that movement, for like when it comes to like people like selling like signs and stickers and all that kind of stuff, like the people that like collect the money for that, you might just want to look into. And the only reason why I brought that up is because people have and are and done and have done that. But also the new one right now is the Ukraine flags. Okay, I'm not going to get into a conversation about that at all. Anything that has to do with Russia or Ukraine, not at all. However, are we not connecting a couple dots here? I see a Ukraine flag just about everywhere, and I'm like, who's getting the Ukraine flag money? And you think anybody that has a heart to put up that flag has a heart to ask that question? You know what I mean? And that's why I don't really partake in this flag flying crap. Whether it's our own flag, American flag, or Ukraine flag, or Black Lives Matter flag. No offense to any of that. I obviously support all that stuff. But I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like people are saying something else and people are reading something else. And that's why I don't like to play that game. You know, look at even me. I'm reading into all this a little bit differently than a lot of other people might be. But I'm seeing, why I called it a disease earlier is because people, like, at least what I see driving everywhere, is people have this, like, because my neighbors did it, because my neighbors are doing it, kind of, like, disease. And that's why you know what I mean? That's why I mention all those flags, is because I feel like a lot of people just want to be looked at on the outer surface, like, for people driving by like that. But it's like, who knows what someone's real values are? Like, anybody can put any sign in their front yard, but then also be the opposite, and they're only using that sign as a defense, or as a just like, hey, don't bother me. Oh, it brings back, I took a picture one time, I think it was an apartment complex, and somebody had some political things. I think one said something about Biden for president or something like that, but then somebody else on the top floor had like F Biden. You know, I just thought it was hilarious, just because it's like, the people on the top floor just wanted to put that message out, like, oh, they might be all into that kind of stuff, but I just want to let you know, like, we're not. And I don't know, I just thought that part was comical, because again, people are just really resonating a lot with what their neighbor is saying and just putting it out there. I mean, the Black Lives Matter one made me sick. I had to bring that one up because I went in predominantly white neighborhoods, the kind of neighborhoods where if you went right now to one of their cookouts, I guarantee, unless it was like some kind of like intentional, let's invite the token black or ethnic person to their cookout, it's like, these are the kinds of people that, like, if somebody that was of color knocked on their door, they would either call the cops or not answer the door. And I've seen them out there with the signs and stuff like that, and it's like almost just like a deflection. I don't know, like a deflection, and like an avoidance of actually having to do any real like social change, social unity, community kind of work. And that's why I bring this up too. I see a lot of times people are just flying these signs because that's like as much as they're willing to give an F. And if the money is not being properly distributed to the people that you're trying to help or representing, and that's all you're doing, whew, you might want to rethink that whole deal, you know what I mean? And then it's like, at what point do you take it down? Not saying you should. I'm just saying, doesn't that send a message too? And I the same thing when I've seen people put up signs that say, "We miss you, fill in the blank. Rest in peace, fill in the blank." Because at one point, that becomes like an eyesore right in your front yard. And then what? Like, I feel like the day that you take it down is just as disrespectful as anything else, no? I don't know. I'm just saying perception, okay? Alright, I told you why holidays are overrated. You're still with me. Bored cops, the reason why I bring up bored cops is because you're going to see a lot of them, and maybe not so bored, but a lot of them bored. At least in the good towns and cities, they're going to probably be bored, right? Right? I think, I'm not saying like I support or hate cops, but, and I'm not saying that being annoyed by a cop is necessarily a bad thing either, or annoying a cop might not be necessarily bad either. Here's why. Because I think the police officers that do what I'm about to say are truly for their community and are truly doing their job, and also are doing it very well. And it's also something like a hint, if you're into marketing, you should think about how you can apply what I'm about to say to marketing and business. All right, ready for this? So I remember I was going through a particular town, not like necessarily in the boonies, but it was like, you know, like a rural country area. And you know, we had to take a leak, right? And you know, for women it's a little more, you know, involving. They're not like us, but right, we can kind of just stop on like anywhere on the side of the road practically and get it going. But I mean, just psychologically, women have to be like, it's, anyways, we were just kind of going down some like, about to go down some roads, like, you know, like those long, like country roads, not many houses. It's like, you know, there's like some kind of like pull-off spots and such. Like, you could just envision like that there will be when you turn down some of these roads, right? So so we're like, let's give it a shot. You know what I mean? And mind you, there's probably not an open like fast food gas station restaurant or anything like that for many, many miles. Probably at the time it was too at night. I believe it was at night. I'm gonna say it was at night. And if you're a true New Englander, if you're a true like road person or anything, like especially women, they would definitely have, you know, paper towels, napkins, hand sanitizer and such for the exact reasons I'm saying. People with kids too, I'm sure. You know what I mean? You gotta rough it out sometimes. You're not gonna always be able to pee in a toilet. It's just life. And I mean, hey, maybe some people feel like you do, but you know, if you know, sometimes, you know, nature calls and you're out in nature, and what are you gonna do? You know? So I don't want to get too gross with it. I just wanted to talk about bored cops, because of course, what do you think I'm getting into? We somehow just driving, maybe down the right or wrong roads to him because they're bored. I think it was a guy cop. Yeah, it was a guy cop. You know, he followed us, and then I think we're turning around or something. I can't remember if he put his lights on or anything. I don't think he did. No, I don't think he did. But he was we passed him, and he stopped and slowed down and had us, like, you know, roll down our window. And what do you think he said? He said, "Hey, are you guys okay?" And you know, we were fine. Probably just made something up, like, you know, we're lost or something. I don't know, something like that. I mean, we could have probably just said what we were going to do, but again, I guess that's technically illegal, so, you know, we probably just made up something. But that's all. No, he was just, he wasn't even nosy. He was just like, "Are you guys okay?" And that's what I mean about bored cops. The ones that actually care about the community can very slick do things like that, like kind of just check up without being invasive in a way. And like, this is why I'm saying, if you're in the business or marketing, you can take note of kind of like that cop. You know, because a lot of other ones, they might be just trying to pull people over to fill up quotas and things like that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that for any job. Just show up to fill a quota, you know? Like, show you care, show you give an F, you know what I mean? Like, that cop, even though he was being nosy or he was bored, at least he gave an F. You get what I'm saying? Like, he actually was just like, "Hey, I'm just gonna do kind of like a wellness check, like, hey, you guys okay?" Because he probably saw we were turning and was just like, you know, people maybe they either do sketchy stuff down there, or they tend to turn around or get lost going down that road. So, you know, I just thought that later on, I was like, you know, that's the kind of cop you kind of want in your town. No, I'm sure you don't want the kind of cop in your town or city that can't wait to pull you over. I mean, that would suck. But some cops, that's what they gotta do. It's funny, because I have a donut and a coffee right now. I hope they don't smell them, because I know they're bored right now. They're looking to pull people over. Anyways, bad joke. What you gonna do? Oh, and I was gonna say one more thing. It had to do with the corner stores. Yes. So, if I were to ever have like a store, I don't know, I think it'd be kind of cool to kind of have like a convenience general store, because it's kind of like a talk show. It's kind of like a sitcom. It's kind of like Seinfeld, right? It's kind of like all those things. Like, I went to one today that I've been to once at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it closed, like, the guy even said it closed at 11, but he still let me get, like, you know, coffee and milk and stuff like that, because I think he was schmoozing with some other lady or something. He was just being nice. But it's like, see, I went there today, and it was kind of funny. I don't think it was the same lady. But I was in line, or not in line, but I was ready to cash out. And I was just looking at like pastries and donuts and muffins and such. And I could see that this lady was just about to get behind me. And I was like, oh, go ahead, you can go in front of me. And she was like, no. This is what made me want to do this turtle cast too, because I was just like, huh. She's like, no, don't worry about it. She's like, she looked a little upset, I'm not gonna lie, but she's like, I'm just enjoying my time out of the house. And I was like, that's it. I was like, these kinds of convenience stores, these kinds of small general stores, corner stores, general stores, sometimes they're bodegas, sometimes they're in the form of coffee shops, sometimes it's a pub, sometimes it's a bar, sometimes it's a liquor store, but I like the ones that are like this one where it's like almost like a grocery store, right? That's like a little grocery store. It's got like almost like everything. Like they'll even have like all your deli stuff and chips and soda and even just like all your baking things. Like you could probably do most of your shopping there, but it probably would cost just slightly, probably 25 to 50%, maybe more than if you went to a grocery store that had like deals and sales or wherever you regularly go, right? But hey, if you can afford it, you should support that if you can, as much as you can. I would, and I'm not sponsored by anybody, but I'm saying you should support your local economy any way possible. Just because. And also too, like, it came to mind because also on a bike ride, these little girls and their mom were selling like lemonade and like cupcakes on a bike trail. And see, I carry like a couple dollars on me when I, gotta. And you bet I put money. I didn't eat or drink anything. And what I would say next time, what I kind of said that time is like, hey, give the next person that. You know what I mean? I'm good. Like, I just want, I want to support their cause. But what I would say next time is like, kids, here you go. Here is $1 or $2 or whatever, for, my own willpower. I am not going to have, any lemonade or cupcake right now or anything like that. I have my own reasons why I don't want to eat some stranger's food, but that's another story. I'm not going to say that. But I would say that, mention that they, it's nice that they have the willpower to go out and set up that stand and make money, make the signs, they're giving something to people out on the trail, joggers and bikers, and I thought that was very nice, and I have to support the cause for that reason. I would also say, or instead say, you can't have something for nothing. And for that, I want you to, I'm giving you $1 or $2, and I want you to give somebody at some point in the day that you think deserves it that. That's all. But, because a lot of people, they probably don't carry money and stuff like that when they're jogging and on a bike. It's understandable. But the reason why, I brought that up mostly because, like, there's like a lack of that on a broader scale. And any way I can support economics and entrepreneurship for younger ones, that is, you know what I mean? They took the time to bake all that, make make the signs and all that stuff, and be out there when they could be like they could be, eating hamburgers and hot dogs with their family and celebrating Memorial Day, but instead they were doing that. That's very sweet, you know what I mean? So people that do that should be rewarded too. So going back to the corner store again. Yeah, I just thought it was fascinating that the lady didn't want to get in front of me, even though she was waiting. And then she was just like, even out loud, like, oh, I forgot I came to the store for XYZ, and went back and you know, probably got some more things so she could stay in the store longer. Do you see where I'm getting at here? What I'm getting at here is the convenience factor in a lot of these stores. They don't have the best price. They don't have the best selection sometimes, or the best tasting or the freshest. But they have convenience, and they also provide like escapism, or a way to escape for people. Like this lady, for instance, maybe she has like a domestic situation, or just like maybe the kids or her family or something just driving her nuts, and it gives her some kind of peace or serenity to be in that little corner store and just, you know, grabbing some of this, grabbing milk, grabbing eggs. You know, it gives her a purpose to be going to the store in the first place. And then maybe the guy that runs the shop is very nice and has stories, and also lends an ear for other people's stories. And for that, like, I've been in businesses where I had to make nose to nose, toes to toes, regular contact with regulars, whether it was making pizzas, whether it was running a food trailer, flipping burgers, you know, face to face, from, you know, like I would take their order and then serve them food, which in itself is it's kind of a ballsy move. You know what I mean? It's like to take somebody's order, pull it off, and then, you know, with a smile on your face and all that. I mean, looking back, it's just like, you know, you're really putting yourself out there at each and every order. You know what I mean? It only takes one bad meal, right? One mess up, and then you're done. Like, somebody gets a bad taste in their mouth. I mean, and not in all cases, but then the other way around is you get the other side of that coin is sometimes you get people that just constantly complain and whine, but they still do business with you, or do anyways, and that's not too cool either. So I'm just saying that you gotta support them, and I just like what you look deeper into why these corner stores exist and they thrive. And the lady behind me and me, obviously, are the reasons why they thrive. Because it's just like kind of like the last dinghy of hope for some people, or civilization. Like maybe the store just has like a more old school approach. I mean, this one kind of did too, like a more timeless, as in like you don't know if if it's like the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s and up. I mean, obviously you know what year it is, but it's just like a lot of the ways and the products and the methods that a lot of these stores, or maybe even the length of they've been there, has been like that, dated that far. And people, they build memories. They remember those places, right? And they're near and dear to their hearts. So, yeah, I just had to bring up the corner store and how, another hint, if you're in the business of anything or a marketer, you know, I don't think it'll hurt your business if you have that kind of approach and you're that approachable to your clientele. And for that, and for all of that, I thank you very much for listening today. I hope you have a great rest of your Memorial Day, good start to your week. Till next time, turtle out. Peace.